The transfer window is coming into its latter stages and it's getting exciting ahead of deadline day. Tottenham have not done much in, the sight of transfers, but it's time for Spurs to butt their ideas up and make a permanent transfer. So today on the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, I'm going to be demanding why Tottenham must sign Mathys Tel from Bayern Munich. But before we go any further, if you are new to the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, drop us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also leave your comments down below. Do you want to sign Mathys Tel? So the news rumbles on in the Mathys Tel saga, and the latest last night was that Tottenham are maybe the closest in procuring his signature. And Florian Plettenberg tweeted this last night. He's a very reliable journalist when it comes to this story, and he's been all over it from the beginning. And the tweet read, Manchester United remain active in the race of Mathys Tel and have held new talks with his agent today. The Red Devils are reportedly considering a loan move. Bayern already have a verbal agreement with Tottenham over a permanent deal worth €60 million, aka £50 million. But Chelsea are still interested in the player, and so are Arsenal. Everyone wants him as a forward option, but I think out of all those clubs, and this might sound a bit balmy, Tottenham is the best club to go to, and I'm going to sort of be explaining why that is. But before we go any further, there's also another tweet I want to highlight, and that is this, that Tottenham to complete a deal for the academy as they agree to sign 18-year-old talent and CAM Daniel Batty from Manchester City. 500k transfer fee and future add-ons with sell-on percentage, medical ongoing according to Fabrizio Romano. So that's again quite interesting that that's the case, because we saw last night again in the Europa League 3 academy players putting their mark on the team. So another player for the academy, a player for the future, so keep your eyes on that one. But back to Mathys Tel. Why do I think this? Well, there's one key factor that we haven't taken into consideration, and that's Harry Kane. We obviously sold him to Bayern 2 summers ago, or it would be 3 summers ago actually, heading into this summer. But that could play a very, very big factor. He might have been in his ear. He's obviously not getting any minutes for Bayern Munich. He obviously said a potential farewell to him the other night in the Champions League. But yeah, Harry Kane could actually advise him to join Tottenham. And Jamie Redknapp had a very few words to say on that as well.
We're just talking Mathys Tel and Spurs really interested. Is he a Spurs player?
He's a very talented player, that's for sure. 19 years of age, and Tottenham obviously signed a lot of good young players in the last few years. That seems to be the profile of what they're trying to get. I messaged Harry Kane earlier on, just asked him what's he like. So when I saw the news, and I obviously knew I was coming to speak to you guys, and he was very complimentary about him. First of all, says he's a great guy, wants to work, good trainer, good finisher, lot of potential. So that would be, but it's a lot of money, 50 million, and for a 19-year-old, and when you think about it in the current climate, I can't think of too many other 19, 20-year-olds at that age that have been much more. So it would, and Tottenham need players. I'm sure, that Ange Postecgolou is probably watching this thinking, what's the date today? The 30th, is it?
Yeah, 29th.
29th, yeah. Why have
30th.
Why maybe have I not got a couple more players? I've been under pressure, I could have done with a little bit of help.
Yeah.
It hasn't been there. But this is a player that's obviously a lot of talent. They've got a lot of big games coming up. Solanke's out injured. He could play off the left as well. So it would be, I heard you guys talking earlier on, you were talking about whether, coming to Tottenham, would he start? There's still Son, there's still Kulusevski, there's still Solanke when he's fit, so there's probably not a guarantee that he's going to come in as a regular starter, but he'll look at it and think, the Premier League and you know, trying to get in front of Harry Kane is not easy at Bayern Munich, as we all know.
But why should he sign then for us over any other club? So let's go through the other options that are on the table. Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea's a viable option for Mathys Tel. Chelsea already have too many forwards. I know that Chelsea want a striker. They're looking to maybe upgrade on Nicholas Jackson. They've looked at Liam Delap as well. I don't think Mathys Tel is a perfect option for them because they've got too many wingers in the likes of Jadon Sancho and Noni Madueke. I just don't see that. And the way that Chelsea's turnover is, I think it would be a bad move for the player. Manchester United probably won't be able to do them. They want a loan before a permanent deal because they have to sort out their old PSR FFP issues. They've obviously tried to offload the likes of Garnacho, even were tempted to sell Kobe Mainu or any other academy graduates because it's 100% profit on the deal sheets. So I don't really see that one happening either. And Arsenal obviously looking for a stellar striker to maybe take them to the next level. Mathys Tel, I think he's more one for the future, who maybe will get a few minutes here and there for Arsenal. They obviously still back Kai Havertz through the middle. Martinelli still playing. Saka will come back into the team. Depends about the future of Gabriel Jesus, Trossard. I think Arsenal's forward line is quite up in the air. So that's when I go on to Spurs. Spurs obviously have Dominic Solanke out, injured for a couple of weeks. Heung-Min Son's only signed an extra deal. We've got a few youngsters, but Mathys Tel can play on the left and in the striker position. He'll rotate often and he would be a very, very clever option for Tottenham. But we'll look at his stats because his stats are quite telling. And first of all, his goals and assists for the season. And if you look at the screen, it's not good reading, is it? You know, 8 appearances in the Bundesliga, 3 in the Champions League, 3 in the DFB Pokal, totaling 14. And in that, he's got no goals and 1 assist. And that 1 assist came in the Bundesliga, which obviously was a bit, you know, not ideal. He's actually split in those 14 games. He's played 7 as a centre forward and 7 as a left winger. He's only played 253 minutes in the league. He's played 91 minutes in the Champions League and 114 in the DFB Pokal. So only 458 minutes, which is not a lot. You know, if you look at how, you know, he's been on the bench a lot, he's been injured. Most of the games he's been on the bench. He's played 45 minutes here and there, 8, 26. You know, his minutes have not been good. The only stint he got was against Freiburg, where he played as a winger and he got 59 minutes. So it's not been good, like, you know, and Bayern are in a weird position, aren't they, in the table? It's a questionable, you know, they're top, they're doing okay under Vincent Kompany, not amazing, but, you know, their forward line is all over the place. You know, Harry Kane's going to stay. Leroy Sané might leave. You know, they've got Kingsley Coman, whose future's been in doubt. Even Serge Gnabry. It's a very strange situation. Thomas Muller might retire. So that's the reason he wants to leave, really, isn't it? But even if we look at his FB Rev stats, and they're good reading. You know, his non-penalty goals, his non-penalty XG, his shots total, his assists, his, you know, expected assists, his non-penalty XG plus XAG, his passes attempted, pass completion, successful take-ons, touches, progressive passes, aerials won, all look pretty good. And when you see the players he's being compared to, you know, there's a lot of good form players there. Luis Diaz, Rafael Leao, Kvaratskhelia, Dani Olmo, Mason Greenwood, Amad Diallo, Leroy Sané, Rodrigo, and even the players like Noni Madueke and Adama Traore have had their moments, you know, especially this season. And then on his Who score, there's some really good potential strengths. His aerial duels, his passing, his dribbling, his finishing, but he's not so good at holding onto the ball, which is probably a little bit of a negative. So when it comes to what Tottenham could potentially do, obviously we've seen the likes of Tyler Dibling being linked. We missed out on Kolo Muani. This is a good deal for £50 million. If you think what Tottenham will probably do is they've, you know, done a few loans. I think Will Lankshear, it got announced last night that he might be loaned out to a few different clubs. I'll put that tweet on the screen right now. But there's options there, and with the injury, as I say, to Solanke, Richarlison I expect probably to be moved on in the summer. There's an opportunity for Mathys Tel. I think it's a no-brainer. I think we should be putting that money on the table and signing him right up.
It's hard to be positive, and I feel like, Ben, you've done a really good job, as you have as well, Sonny, like, of being positive and trying to find a glass half full angle. But obviously we are 4 or 5 days out of the window closing. Anyone's bringing to mind? Anything that you would like to see happen in the next couple of days?
I mean, I touted it before, and it's a weird move, but there's a player at Lyon called Ryan Churchy. I mean, I butchered that. I apologise right now, but he is one of those players where he's not got the best of attitude. So that is a problem that Ange has said about players. I think that's why we didn't sign Ivan Toney over Dominic Solanke. But Lyon are saying he's available for less than 20 million euros or pounds. And I just think it's one of those signings that he can play on both wings, he can play in the 10, he's tricky, he's a good dribbler. It's worth the risk at this stage where you just, as I said, like Neil Warnock brings in one of those strikers who maybe gets 5 goals and keeps you up. We are desperate. We are desperate. And the problem is, the players that we're being linked to are all well and good. Like, I like the idea of Tyler Dibbling.
I
think that's a great transfer.
As well.
But that's not one for right now. That's
Liam
maybe
Delap.
one for the summer.
Yeah, I think, I'm totally on the same page. Like I said about Angel Gomez, it's like, why are we trying to line up deals for the summer now? Like Dibbling, I understand that if that's a player that you really want and Southampton are saying, look, we're in the middle of a relegation battle. He's actually out injured at the moment anyway, so he'll probably be able to help
he'll
us.
fit in well.
Yeah, exactly. He'll come straight into the medical department. But, he's not a player that can, despite the fact that he has proved that he's a Premier League level player at just 18 years old, he's been brilliant for Southampton. It's a gamble that Spurs probably don't need to make right now. But these are still the sort of players that, regardless of what the situation you're in, you still should be going for. You still should be trying to bring in the best young talents that you can, because the idea of Tyler Dibbling playing on the right wing for Spurs for the next 5 or 6 years, or in 2 or 3 years' time consistently, and then being our winger for however long Saka is going to be the winger at Arsenal, and then the idea of like more on the left and Dibbling on the right, it's really exciting, but it's probably one that's not going to happen to the summer. Southampton have said that they're not going to sell for less than £55 million, I think, this
is quite steep,
window.
I believe, as well.
Look,
we spent that almost on Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, but I suppose the thing is that Spurs will hold out, because it's like they know Spurs have kind of got Southampton over a barrel in that sense. It's like, well, you're going to go down. Like,
we've got a good relationship with them as well.
Yeah.
So it's like we can get him for less in the summer. I reckon they'll probably, if it does happen, they might agree a deal now where it's like he stays at Southampton on loan effectively to the end of the season, then comes in the summer. But it's like we're not being, like I said, I don't know how many times we can say it. It's like we're 28 days into January now, and we've signed a goalkeeper, and it's like in the midst of the worst injury crisis that we've got. We need defensive reinforcements, regardless of whether like a doggy is injured at the moment or not. We needed a left back in the summer, so that's something that.
Got Ben Davies that's there. He's going to get a testimonial.
Well, yeah, it's just.
He should never steal. Yeah. I really like Ben Davies in terms of a servant to the club. Never really drops anything less than like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Very reliable, but he should not still be at this club. Fraser Forster. I mean, Kinski would still be in Prague.
If that wasn't for if he didn't get injured.
This is just ridiculous. Like, it is complete negligence.
I remember the tweet from Paul O'Keefe, who's one of the biggest kind of Spurs in the nose potentially, saying about how Spurs. It was on the 30th of December. I saw it again today. It was like Spurs are lining up, or looking at a striker, a central midfielder, a goalkeeper,
looking
at monitoring.
We love to monitor.
Monitoring FC.
We love to monitor, don't we?
Yeah, we're not doing enough. Also, like Solanke and then Richarlison. Look, people were upset and angry at the ground the other day about Richarlison coming off when he did. We all kind of maybe thought the reason then behind it was that he just couldn't play any longer, and he again can't take any risks despite the situation that we are in. And that should be a really clear message to the board. It's like, we're 2-1 down at home to Leicester, and I'm taking off my striker who scored the goal in this game.
And we don't have another striker.
And he didn't even bring like Lankshear on. He tried to change it and then brought Lankshear on at the end. But that's a message. But then it comes out after the game that Richarlison actually was feeling something in his groin.
No.
I love Richarlison. I think we all do. Again, not worth the money that we paid for him, but he run through brick walls for Tottenham. He's got the heart, and he's proven under Ange in this system he can score goals. Scored a goal at the weekend, scored a goal at Everton last week, went on that run last season. But he is going to break down time after time after time, and you can't rely on those kind of players. So Spurs should be looking at a striker. Like you mentioned Liam Delap there, I don't think they'll sell him, but that would be great. Like we need... whoever it is, we just need someone like
someone, just anyone with a fit,
it's bodies.
With a hamstring, a working hamstring.
It's bodies because I mean, even maybe dip into the Championship, see who's doing well. I mean, there is that risk that if we don't do anything, that could be the end. Yeah, and it pains me to say it, but let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree? Should we be signing Mathys Tel? I think it's an obvious signing, but yeah, you're gonna have to let me know down below. And if you are new to the channel, leave your likes, leave your comments, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also go and check out Inside Spurs on the TalkSport YouTube channel ahead of the game on Sunday against Brentford, which is going to be tricky because we're not going to get Visser either. But yeah, until next time, up the Spurs, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.